spell checker isn't working very well. Well, golly, here we are. Welcome, Deb. Glad you could make it today. And, well, wish we could say it was cooler here in Tucson than it has been, but certainly not as cool as Minnesota. So glad you all could join us. And remember, if you can't join us, you can always go to the GoFor Technology YouTube channel, the link for which is in the Monday morning delivered edition of the GoFor Gazette. Or you can search for GoFor Technology in YouTube and it will pop right up. So let's go. So today we're going to talk about previous recipients. Now this was prompted by my friend and client Mike, who had a problem with when he tried to send an email, the address that automatically filled in was the wrong one, a bad address. So he wondered, how can I get rid of those bad addresses and stop them from popping up in mail? So that's exactly what we are going to learn today. So today is the Summer Solstice edition of Go for Lunch, number 59. And as you probably know, today is the longest day of the year. Now, sometimes that's on the 21st, sometimes it's on the 22nd. So I did check it. And according to my research this year, today is the summer solstice. So the longest day of the year. So we can hope that as the sun goes down sooner, the temperature will go down along with it. But unfortunately, there's no guarantees. So, a little public service announcement before we get going with our regularly scheduled program. Today is the second day of Amazon Prime Day. So, this is the day where Amazon wants you to believe that you can get better deals than any other day, and in many cases, it's the truth. So, I just wanted to go over a couple of little things so you understand the jargon of the sales at Amazon Prime. So they have something they call a spotlight deal, and that can happen on non-prime days. And they also call these deals of the day, and they're usually good for 24 to 48 hours on popular products. So you have your spotlight deals. Then there are the lightning deals. These run less than 24 hours. I've seen them like only 3 hours or 5 hours. And they are on a first come, first served basis because there may be limited stock on that particular item. So if you see it and you need it or you want it, grab it. And then there's the can't miss jaw-dropping deals. And these are fewer and further between, but they're the same as a lightning deal, except they tend to be on higher tier brands. And then there's the best deal. These are longer running deals, more than 2 days, and promotions on various products. So that gives you a little insight into the different kinds of deals you might find on Prime Day and on any day on Amazon. So I just saw a couple of things that might be of general interest to everybody. Both the Oral-B and the Philips electric toothbrushes are on sale. Crest White Strips and the Instant Pots. Now, if you haven't yet joined the Instant Pot craze, you can now. They have a new one that I'd never seen before called the Duo Crisp. So it's an air fryer plus an 11-in-1 cooker. So, and I think it's 8 quarts and it's $129. But if you just want to get in to the basic Instant Pot, it's a 6-in-1, 6-quart, the one that I bought on Black Friday last year, and it's $49.95 on today. So if you need an Instant Pot, they are pretty handy, and you can get one for $50 today. Now, here's the one more in line with what we are talking about, technology. So I've long been a fan of Eero. I've installed Eero in some of your homes, and today you can get a 3-pack of Eero Mesh Wi-Fi. Now this uses Wi-Fi 6. It's the latest version of Wi-Fi. So you want to buy Wi-Fi 6 if you're buying Wi-Fi now. And it is $98 off the regular price. So $181 gets you 3 Eero Mesh devices to spread the Wi-Fi out through your house. So get rid of those dead spots where your iPad may not be working. Now, this is restricted only to Prime members, so if this is something that you need and you're not a Prime member, call me today, soon. As soon as we finish here, give me a call, and we can set something up so you can take advantage of this and I can get it installed for you. So when I was preparing for the program and thinking about buying things, I was prompted to remember Roger's rule number 4, and that is when you buy something, especially if it's electronic, then test it as soon as you receive it and make sure that it works. So, unfortunately, I can tell you the wrong way to do this. So I bought a couple of bare hard drives to go in my Drobo network attached storage because they were on sale. And then when one of my hard drives failed and I needed to replace it, I took these out of the box and they did not work. So that is the hard way to learn this lesson. When you get something, test it as soon as you get it. If it doesn't work, then return it. Well, you see, rule number 4 prompted me to think of rule number 5. And that is, as soon as you get a product that has a power supply, put a label on it to indicate what device it connects to, because the manufacturers, for the most part, like 90% of the time, do not put a label on the power supply. It just has a generic label from the manufacturer of the power supply, which is seldom, if ever, the manufacturer of the product that it connects to. So those are little tips that might save you some frustration in the future. So I see that Chris has joined us. Welcome, Chris. Glad to see you here. And Judy has checked in. Thanks, Judy. Okay, so let's go back and look at what else is going on here. So now, the topic of the day, previous recipients. You may not even have heard of this term before. It's kind of hidden, but it will not be hidden any longer because you will know the secret path. So, the Mac actually keeps two lists of email addresses. One, of course, is in your contacts, and the other is in the email app itself. So the address book is now called contacts, so we kind of use address book and contacts interchangeably, so just remember that. And so the contact app stores the contact information that you've intentionally entered into it. But in Apple Mail, without asking you, it automatically, every time you send a message to someone, stores that email address in Mail. So, for example, you just made an acquaintance with somebody new that you want to send them an email for something. You just type their email directly into the to box on your email message, and Apple Mail automatically remembers that address. So, how do we get rid of those addresses if they are no longer accurate or viable or useful? Well, we go into the Mail app, and on the menu bar, of course, which is at the very top of your screen, you click on the word Window. And then in the drop-down menu, you will see Previous Recipients. So you have several things you can do here. So in the Previous Recipients window, you can go to the search box in the upper right-hand corner and search for that person by name. You can also scroll through the list of your recipients, the email addresses in there, and find the one that you want. And then by using Command click, you can actually go through there and select multiple addresses just by clicking on the first one and then holding down the Command key and clicking on any additional ones that you can find that are no longer viable, valid, or accurate. And then you go down to the bottom left, and we'll show you that in just a second. Another thing that shows you in this Previous Recipients window is that the recipients or the contacts that have contact cards. So you'll see there's a little contact card icon on the left, and we'll see that here in a second. So you can also sort by clicking on the column headers. So you can sort by name, or you can sort by who has a contact card already. And of course, that would also give you a sort of who does not have a contact card already. And then you can click on another label to sort in a different way. And then, as I said, when you find the ones that you don't want, either one or several that you've selected with command click, then you click on Remove from List in the lower left-hand corner. Let's see what that looks like, shall we? Okay, so here you see the Mail app. So we go up to the menu bar, which is on the very top. we move over to the word window. We click on window and drop down here to previous recipients. So there you see it, previous recipients. So when you click on that, you get this window that I was talking about. So you can see here are the columns. First column is the contact cards. You can see that's kind of faint, but there's a little contact card icon right there. Then, of course, the names, the email addresses, and another useful tool is when it was last used. So this might be a good way to clean out your previous recipients by looking at the oldest ones, maybe somebody or some business that you no longer communicate with. You can just take those out because they're so old. So let's search for one here. So I'm going to type in MU, and we get Rosie Murphy because MU is the beginning of Murphy. So we can see here's her address. I haven't talked to Rosie in a long time. And so we could click on this and then go down here to the bottom left and click on remove from list. I'm not going to remove Rosie because she's still a friend of mine. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Now another way we can do it is we can look here and see that some of these do not have names. So this is a case where you just entered the email address directly into mail. There's no contact card and no name. So these would be good ones to look at and decide whether you want to put them in a contact. And you can do that. So let's take Sadie here, for example. So now you see when I click on one of these contacts, the add to contacts lights up. So when I click on this, then our contacts app is supposed to appear, and it is not appearing, is it? I think it's hiding somewhere. Let's see, it's open here. There it is. So I guess it was just hidden behind the mail app. I don't know why it didn't come to the front, but anyway. So here we have Sadie. Let's click on Sadie again, and this is not working. So that's the way it's supposed to work, but it's not working that way. Okay, so let's see if anybody has any questions about that. So ask your question. I'll keep an eye on the comments, and let's go to the next example. So here's another little trick. So up here, this is window, but this is a different function here. So this is the same window that we used to get to previous recipients. But now you see we have some other information here. So these are the windows that are open. So this is the inbox. Then there's a new message. And it just says new message because we haven't completed it. And then the previous recipients window, which is right here. So let's click on here, and I'm going to actually go back to the outline and show you that before we do it. So let's set it up again, get that new message sitting here, and go back. Okay, so now another neat little trick is when you're in a mail message, you're composing a new message, you click on the arrow to the right of the sender's name, and then you can remove that person from the previous recipient's list. So this would be a case where you start a new email, you type in the few characters of the person's name, and the wrong email address comes up, and you want to get rid of it right now. So you can do it right now by clicking on the arrow and click on remove from previous recipients list. And again, you can also add that person if it's a new address that's never been in the system before to contacts, maybe. But as you can see here, it didn't work the way it was supposed to out of the previous recipients window, but we'll try it. Okay, so back to here. So now you see So here's a new email. I'm just going to hit the delete key to get rid of that. Okay, so now I'm going to type in BAD. So this is an email address I made up. Okay, so it filled in this email address, which is a bad email address. You can tell it's bad because it says bad right there. Okay, so we're going to click out of that just to get rid of that. So now, if you look really close to the right of the name, there's a little arrow. It looks like a V, but Apple calls these things arrows. So when we click on the little arrow, we have lots of different choices here. We can edit the address, so if we just mistyped it, we can go back and edit it. We can remove the address, which is what we're talking about primarily right here. We can copy the address, so I use this a lot when I get an email from somebody and then I have to fill out a form on a website that I got to by clicking on a link to the email. I go back and copy the address from the email that they originally sent me because I have numerous email addresses and I don't want them to have more than one. So I make sure to put the same email address in the web form as the one they have in their database that they use to send me an email. Is that confusing enough? So here's another great feature. This is called Add to VIPs. So when you add someone to VIPs, it gives them priority to come in before any other email. So, you know, I use this for close friends, relatives, and that I don't want to miss, and clients too, that I don't want to miss their emails. Then you can also show their contact card, or you can search for other emails from this person. But the whole idea here is this is a bad email address, and we want to remove it. So we just click on Remove Address. There it's gone. Now let's see what happens if we type in BAD here. Oh, wrong keyboard. BAD. Okay, so the reason this, and I did this on purpose, the reason that this came through was because it's still in the contacts. So when you go here to the little arrow and remove address, it's only removing it from mail. It is not removing it from contacts. So to complete this operation, now sometimes it's not going to be in contacts, but to complete this operation, you have to go to the address. See, here it is, badmsn.com, and then you can right click on it and go to delete card. So you see that? So that's how that works. Now, of course, we confirm that we want to delete it. So now let's just get rid of this message here and don't save it. Let's start a new message by going to the little square with the pencil sticking out at the upper right hand corner here in the upper left hand corner of the window and type in BAD and voila, it doesn't come up anymore. It is gone. So that's how that works. Okay. So I see we do have some questions. So let's look at the questions. So Susan says, you think that mail also stores the addresses and contact info that the senders use, which may be different. Yes, that is exactly right. That's what we talked about. And then Susan says, previous recipients just told me that info is not in my contacts list, but it is there. Also, I don't have the square for current contact. It's a circle with a human icon. Oh, really? Well, let's look in mail. So I was using Mojave for this example. So I'm going to open up Big Sur Mail and go to window and previous recipients. And you're right. Okay, so it is different in Big Sur. So it has a little circle. Well, I'll just show you this. So let's go to Safari. Let's see, is this going to work? Okay, so we're going to get rid of this guy. We don't want to save that. And we're going to go to Safari, which I think I switched. Okay. So if we go to the desktop and we go to Mail and we say hide others, that'll clean up our screen. Okay, so here we are in Mail on Big Sur. We go to Window, and oh, that didn't really clean up the screen, did it? It came back. Well, let's see how this works. And we go down to Previous Recipients. Okay, so you can see it on top of everything. So in case you're wondering what the affinity effect is here, this is my eCam software that allows me to do a production of high quality, hopefully. So you can see here are the little circles with a little profile, well, actually not a profile, but a little person head and shoulder shot in it. So you can see here. So they've changed this from a little contact card icon to a person icon. But otherwise, other than that change, it looks like it's pretty much the same. So let's see if we can add somebody to, I'm trying to find somebody here that's not in my contacts. So according, oh, I know that Agata is not in my contacts. So here's Agata. We're going to click on Add to Contacts in the lower right-hand corner. And we're having the same problem of contacts not popping up. So it looks like this bug that was in Mojave is still in Big Sur. So disregard this Add Contacts box in the right-hand corner. It obviously is not working. So, any other questions? So while we're waiting for questions, please remember, if you haven't already, to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Give it a thumbs up because that helps YouTube show this video to other people that we can help. And another way to do that, to help other people, is to share the GoFor Gazette, which comes out every Monday morning around 7 o'clock, with your friends, your neighbors, your family, anybody that you know that uses Apple products. And of course, the links to the YouTube channel are always in the GoFor Gazette. And down at the bottom, there is a link directly to the previous week's YouTube Lives, GoFor Lunches. So that's an easy way to get to more information. And then of course, then when you go to the YouTube channel, you can search on a particular topic. And I've included the topic in the title of each one. So you can search inside the YouTube channel and go back to review something that you may be having a question with. So Susan has a new subject. So she received a text about her updated credit card, and it ends in reply stop to opt out. What does that mean? Get no more text from that sender. Yes. So if you think that was a legitimate text from your bank, then do not hit stop, because you might miss a security text that they might send you if your credit card has been compromised. So from the bank, if you're sure that was from the bank, then you don't want to hit stop in that case. But if it's from somebody you've never heard of before and don't want to ever hear from again, then that would be the time to hit stop. Okay, so it sounds like, Susan, you're having the same results that I'm having. So it looks like that's not working the way we would expect it to. So that's good to know. Okay, well, if there are no more questions, I think we'll wrap this up. So thank you for joining me on the summer solstice. You see the sun back here? And that's Big Sur, by the way. And we will do this again at high noon next Tuesday. If there's anything that you would like to have covered, like Mike did, that inspired today's program, then you can just write me at the email address that's coming to a screen near you in a moment, or give me a call. So, and you can do that on anything, of course. So thanks again. We'll see you next week, if not sooner.